turned into a little hunt. Wife's going to a thrift store. I'm going to a thrift store. Looking for school clothes, and I'm looking for you know what. All right, here we go. All right, inside. Found the movies. It's pretty easy because they have a lot of them. Wife's off looking for clothes, and I'm going to be here a moment. Only downside is they only have a small section of Blu-rays out. Most of their Blu-rays are behind the wall, behind the counter. So I'm going to have to stick with this. There's two sides. All the shelves are full, for the most part. There's some sporadic or scattered VHS, but 90%, 95% is, DVDs. You guys were looking for Ocean's 11. I found it. Probably every variation of the DVD out there. There's a couple of randoms ones like Benji. Yeah, Benji. There's a Christmas Benji on the other side, and there's another Benji. I think I saw a moment here in DVD. The DVD. Yep, there it is. It's Benji City today. So grew up with the little dog, but don't really need to collect him anymore. Don't really need that. So while I'm passing the time, I'm just gonna look for some cool titles. Amos and Andrew's fun. I don't know if it's cool, but Nicolas Cage, Samuel L. Jackson, they make a good combination. The Scout, that's a fun Brendan Fraser movie. If you're into sports, baseball, something to catch. Not the best, but something to pass the time with. 8mm, it's a fun one. Another Nicolas Cage flick. Cruel Intentions, of course. Gotta have that. I already have it a couple of times on Blu-ray, so I don't think I need the DVD. What? Gold member? I found you, finally. Now, which one do I want? Yeah, I noticed this thrift Amvets here has tons of just randomness, and then it'll come through piles of, I think Gold Member and Ocean's 11 they have the most of, but there's a couple of movies in here where they had at least 3 or 4 copies of. Stepfather. What else can we find? Movies. Ooh, Blizzard. Gotta have this. Whoopi Goldberg. Kevin Pollak. Is that what his name was? I think something like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on Blizzard today, but a couple of copies of Jeepers Creepers 2. I actually think that's one of them that I've found multiple times in here today. Oh my Lord, Field of Dreams sealed? You guys, I'm stopping right now. I'm retiring. It's got to be like $8,000. Oh, I'll take Bambi with it. Probably get another $500 for that. VHS so popular now. What do we got? We got Volcano. If that was a Blu-ray, that'd be nice. I already picked up the DVD just so I have it, but I don't need another copy. Now this is fun. Zoids, perfect example of just out in the wild, something for, a couple of bucks that's worth, 20, 30, 40. I let the fluffy gamer know, sent him a lead that's where it was, and he actually picked it up. I'm not a flipper, so I don't generally pick up movies that are worth something unless I want them in my collection. Otherwise I'll send the lead to someone else. Very Bad Things, that's a fun movie. Just probably get that on a Blu-ray one of these days. I've always passed on the Scream Factory sales. I don't know why, especially since I like that movie. This is probably, I think, the 4th Jeepers Creepers 2 I found today, but I didn't see any Jeepers Creepers 1, which was kind of odd that I found so many of Part 2 on DVD. And here is the Blu-ray section behind the counter. The wife asked, "Hey, how can my husband look at these movies?" And she said, "Oh, with big eyes." Big eyes. So that means, I guess, your camera zooming in. There wasn't much. The only thing that did kind of throw me off real quick at first glance is I saw a Free Willy mixed in with the Blu-rays, and I'm like, okay, why is there a Free Willy with Blu-ray? And it was blue from a distance, so I went and looked closer, and it was just one of those kid packs. So, wah, wah, wah. But it was nice. I think it's right there, if you guys look, right in the middle. Boom, Free Willy Blue. DVD kids pack. I see a House Bunny, though, in there, a 17 again, that I think I'll be coming back and picking up. But other than that, pretty much everything else I have or just don't need. So I'm going to be going on to the next store and see what I can find. All right, second Veterans Thrift or thrift store. The other one, I found some stuff. Nothing crazy. Can't wait to show. Even a lead for someone else, another hunter. And 30% off at the other small thrift. So never know. Never know. Hopefully she'll bring me good luck. Here we go. All right, inside DVD City. They actually have Blu-rays in the front that I'll peek in a minute, but there's a dude up there looking at them right now and just kind of taking up the whole space. Just a small in front of the counter spot. And I was like, I'll take a look at the DVDs real quick. Nothing though exciting, so I didn't really spend much time here. Oh wow, Disney clamshells? Don't need those. And this guy though, when I actually went up to the front, this guy, I noticed what he was actually doing is just stealing digital codes. He was just going through every Blu-ray and stealing code. So I didn't really mind asking him to move out of the way. I'm like, I don't care if you're stealing, but please give me some room. So he was done, and then he moved on. So here's the Blu-rays they did have. If I was to purchase any one of these, I would know that the digital code is definitely used, since this guy before me had scanned every one of them. I don't really use digital, so I didn't care. But physical, they didn't really have much I needed. Everything was just old stuff and stuff I already have. So I'm going to move on to the next store. Next store is another thrift, but even worse, they just had a bunch of old DVDs, and even worse, in a glass case. I don't know why. None of this stuff is really premium. I'm guessing people still even the shitty titles like this, Truth in Life, New Testament, and Gilmore Girls, and Backyard Basketball. Yeah, that could stay here. So, moving on. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I don't know if this is going to make it up, but it may. I watched Huck go hunting for some movies, and I almost forgot Arrow was on sale at Barnes & Noble. So I'm going to take a peek for myself. Criterion only picked up 2 titles during the month, and Arrow I like a little bit more, so I'm going to go peek. Wish me luck. All right, I'm inside. My Criterion still, they have Arrow, but they only have a small little section, so this should be quick and easy. A lot of the stuff either have or don't need or don't want. So it's the problem, when they have just limited shelf space for this label. I've been thinking about when these high price titles, in their $100 boxes, you can get half off. But do I really need the movies? That's the problem. Now this is a maybe, because I love this movie. I don't have this on Blu-ray. I only have a DVD. It's got the slip and everything. It's a maybe. I'm gonna look what else they have though, just in case. I've been thinking about Flatliners. I have the Blu-ray, but do I need an upgrade? Hugo, I don't enjoy the movie enough to need an upgrade. I have a Blu-ray of that. Basket Case already have. Donnie Darko already have. So I don't know. It's very limited today, but we'll just see if I do take anything home. Best part is though, this Arrow is 50% off. So get to your local Barnes & Noble. See what you can find. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Okay, Hunter is home and done with the hunt, and time to show you the movies. There's some other stuff that came in as well in the mail that I was going to do with my kids unboxing. So if you haven't watched that video, watch that. I just felt like kids needed its own just video. It needed its own just by itself showing. But I had some other fun stuff that came in with, and at the same time, and I'm going to show you that today. Besides the few little things that I picked up on the hunt, I went out multiple times today, so I can't even remember where everything came from, but it's pretty straightforward. Once I start looking at it, it'll come to mind. Also from the trip on the way home the other night when I stopped for the Arrow sale at Barnes & Noble, since the Criterion just ended, I did find one title that I've been needing. I should have already had. Perfect price, perfect time. So honestly, it's probably going to be on a 4K next month, or
November or December. I have a feeling it's coming on 4K eventually, since a very similar title just was released. But without just still talking about random stuff, let's show you the movies. Let's just get into it. So that actually title was right on top. Let's just start with that. So I picked up 16 Candles. I love this. I love this movie. It's one of my top 25 80s. If you guys have watched that video for Tim Talk Talkie's Community Challenge, which is also coming up soon. I did not get this last year. For some reason, they didn't have a copy. I really wanted it. And they had the slip and everything. So, and I like Arrow Boutique label. Boom. It was half the price. So for 20 bucks, $19.99, came home. Love 16 Candles. You know, Long Duck Dong in there. You know, what's happening, hot stuff. You can't, yeah. Like, not everyone likes the movie, but it's just, you can't not went through the 80s and watch that movie. So, speaking of the 80s, we're going to go right into my childhood. Up to like teenage, I want to say, like some of these movies I might have watched, but these next three, one of them I've been talking about for multiple times for like a while now. I finally gave up. I didn't go on eBay, but I finally just went online and purchased one because it came in stock. Because it's basically just hit or miss sometimes the sites. And I was just randomly looking at movies one night, and I'm like, I'm just going to take a chance. And I typed it in, and it was in stock. And I was like, what the... Okay. Finally, it was right price, put in the add to cart. And then I'm like, fuck it. Let's just check another one. Holy moly. That's in stock, add to cart. Let's keep going. And I went to a third one, and that was in stock, and I add to cart. The fourth one that I was hoping for was even in the system. So I gave up after the three. But these three, I love these movies. They're, again, something I watched. I rented it like Blockbuster probably the first time when I watched them. And I couldn't get enough of them. Like, I just loved them. Enough to where I still remember, 25, 30 years later, whatever it is. 25 years. So, first one. Warner Brother Archive Collection, a mod, movie on demand, blue disc, Big Shots. So I hope, and if you've never watch Big Shots, it's a fun movie. If I'm not mistaken, it's Ivan Reitman produced. So he made fun movies back in the 80s. This was one of them that just kind of like slipped under the radar for the most part. It didn't get a lot of publicity. It didn't get a lot of like talk about. So it's just kind of been forgotten favorite of mine. So it's kind of like where Fish, and I'm so happy Fish is back hunting, and he's with his like series where he does kind of like movies that have been forgotten kind of thing, or forgotten favorites per se, like this. Definitely watch his channel too, because he pulls out stuff just like Big Shots, like cool shit like that like, oh man. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. So that's the first one. And that was number 3 that I was searching for that night. So that was the third one that I found. Okay, number 2 that I found, Daryl. Another, oh my god, this movie was so awesome. The original OG, I want to say Paramount cover art, was with the Jetsons on the computer screen, and it was like dark and the kid looking down at it. So it piqued your interest, because as a kid you're like, ooh, the Jetsons. But in like live action surroundings, so I couldn't know, so it would be like a crossover kind of movie. It's like, but it wasn't. It was Daryl. So it was like some robot kid, almost like lab created kid that was really good at everything. And yeah, a data analyzing robot youth life form. That's what Daryl stands for. So it was awesome. And he gets adopted by like a real family. And so I haven't watched that movie in so long, and I've been looking for it, and I see it all the time on the bay and stuff, and I was like, no, no, no. Finally came in stock somewhere else. And then, um, this is the one I talked about that I also wanted to find, and I just gave up. Put the white flag up because I'm just like, I'm not for the price that I found it for, and I'll tell you where. I did find it from the Evil Empire. I don't prefer, but I did find it from Best Buy. All three of these actually. So if you are looking and they're in stock, Best Buy is where I found all three of these movies. They have not been in stock. They're usually in my cart thing that are like sold, not sold out, but like not available. And then all of a sudden they're like add to carts, and I was like, wow. So, anyways, the last one, She's Out of Control. Oh, Tony Dan's a favorite of mine. Basically, not a rags to riches, but a not to hot. So a not to hot story. um, Tony Danza just fights off all the boys that want his hot daughter. So I'm a dad. I can relate to it. When I was a kid, I just loved watching Amy Dolenz. I think that's who is the star. Yeah, Amy Dolenz was the girl, the hot chick. But in Tony Danza, I used to love Tony Danza from Who's the Boss. So that's why that movie has just been one of those favorites of mine. So those were those three. So next, because I'm already so far this far in, and I'm just getting on memory lane with these movies. But next we got Hot Moves. Sexy comedy, Code Red, hard to find. Finally just popped up one night with these others. I felt like a good luck night because I found this first, and it's never like this is a used copy, so it's out of print, and it's never like in stock anywhere. And I was like looking at used movies. Orbit DVD. Thank you Orbit DVD for coming through. Looking at all their stuff, and sure enough, it was there on the page. Great price too, compared to like the Bay. I'm like, it's probably not there. I always click on, and then it's like grayed out, out of stock. This one actually said add to cart. Boom, it was available. The one copy. I was so happy. It was one of those like just midnight madness, fun, just excitement purchases. Finally can check that one off, like with the Tomboys. I've been getting the old raunchy comedy stuff that I've been really looking for, that I didn't want to pay $100 for, and finally, like, a lot of it's just checked off, so I'm real happy now. Okay, today's random thrift store that I was where we were looking for a couple of like cheap kid clothes, see if we could find any new stuff that's just been turned in. I found a sealed copy of Moonstruck. I just didn't have it, and I like Cher and Nicolas Cage, and I haven't seen this also since my mom's house. So Moonstruck, it's a decent flick. It was still sealed, cheap Blu-ray. Why not? When I looked up on my comp, like if I was to purchase it elsewhere, it was like half the price anywhere else. So I was like, that was the one to get, especially since it was sealed. And then this is the one. I mean, check this, just cast. Bridget Nielsen, Red Sonja, if you guys know. Jim Varney, Ernest. And then Corey Haim. Corey Haim. That's all I gotta say. One of the Coreys. Snowball Academy. So, another just kind of movie that they've done. But it's not that easy to find anymore, and it's not that expensive either. But it's just fun. Snowball Academy, to get another Corey Haim flick that I didn't have in the collection. I try to get anything Corey Haim's been in. If I find out there, I pick it up. So, and that was one I didn't have. So the final batch of flicks. Don't judge, or you can judge. I don't care. I did pick up Lolita. Oh, Lolita. Jeremy Irons edition. So this was like the remake or reimagining 90s version. Melanie Griffith. It's an erotic film. We'll just leave it at that. It's got a little bit forbidden kind of topic, so I'm not going to talk too much about Lolita. But I still wanted it to have, and I know there's like a imprint edition that came. It's pretty much out of print now too, I want to say, and it's kind of expensive. This was like $3, maybe $5, $3, $5, one of those two, and it's good enough for me. Because I just wanted to kind of rewatch it, see if it's something I still would be interested in, or if I like the movie still. Then I got It Comes at Night. Never seen this. Looked interesting. Had one of those cool slip cover things. What does it say? Will leave you unhinged and completely exhilarated. So we'll see. I'll be the judge of that. Taglines. Now, these final two are my favorite of the batch. Like, not favorite, would say the funnest weird shit. We'll call it a Conan imitation. A tour. So, oh yes, the Fighting Eagle, a tour. The main reason I got this because I collect Laura Gemsar films, and she's in it. She's not like her normal role. So I've got enough of those types of roles where I can see Laura. But I still wanted to have it. So I like fantasy, fun flicks like this too. Conan's awesome. Anything in that kind of realm. So I'm gonna give a tour, and it's got this cool. It's like embossed guy. I can't really, not gonna be able to do justice, but a tour is embossed. So Dark Force release number 11. Yeah, number 11. If you're collecting Dark Force. And then this is the one. This is that recommendation that so you left. You right there. Thank you. I actually read it over again, and I'm like, this is so up my alley. I don't know why I haven't watched it. Or maybe I have watched it and I don't remember. But I did pick up that Bullies. It was good price too for this type of flick. I don't even want to read really what it's here. If you guys want to read, pause it. There, because I don't want to say a lot of the words that it talks repetitively in the first couple paragraphs. So, but anyways, Bullies. This movie looks like it's going to be so fun. And when it says action adventure, it should add the word kind of like exploitation too. So maybe that was just like more of a way to make it seem softer. Because the way it reads, if you guys pause and read, you're like, oh, seems like it might be fun. So that's it. That's what I got. That's the money shot. Boom. So, tell me what you liked, what you don't like. Anything that I should watch first, last. Take back to the store, get my money back. Nah, I wouldn't do that anyways. So, all that stuff I keep. So, I think that's it. That's all I got. That's all I can do. That's all I got to show you. That's all I got to say. Other than like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bells and all the other fun stuff. And later.